So, okay, we're ready. I've cleaned, I've dried, I flushed with water, I protected these holes in the cuts to make sure that I don't get any moisture in. I briefly dried them out. Okay, next I'm gonna glue these flaps down. If you look at this cut, you see that something hit it and snagged that way. So there's about 8 little flaps sticking up. I'm gonna take a little bit of my leather glue, number 695, and I'm going to put it under, right under these flaps. Okay, like I'm putting deodorant on my armpit. I'm gonna get it right up there. And then I'm going to lay these flaps down gently at first, and then I'm going to continue to massage and gently work them down to seal them. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to connect this back as best as I can. The more I do now, the less I'll have on the back end of trying to fill and sand and make this spot go away. And as you can see, I'm working them back in the opposite direction lightly just to see which ones need a little bit more gluing. And there's a few little edges that are still up. I want to carefully work those back down. Just like that. I'm going to give it a little bit of heat. I'm going to throw a chill bar on it, which is always nice to help cool the repair down and also flatten it out or kind of iron it down a little bit. Then I'm going to take some sandpaper, and this is a piece of 600, and I'm going to sand the direction the flaps are laying down so I don't damage them. And once I see that they're still laying down, I can sand them in any direction I want. Next, I'm going to use my gray crack filler, number 652, gray crack filler. This stuff is great for damage that's 1/16 of an inch or smaller, thinner. It doesn't have great strength, but its ability to fill up a void spot, stay flexible, and stick is excellent. So you don't want to use it for deep spots, and you just need a little bit. And I'm going to spread that over my area, let that dry, and sand it, and repeat as needed till I have it smooth and I'm satisfied with it. Okay, let's let that dry. By cycling it through hair dryer, chill bar, so you're heating and cooling and heating and cooling, that helps toughen it up and dry the filler as well. I switched to a piece of 400. Okay, that's done, that's ready to paint. So we have the ink ready to go, we have the gray crack filler ready to go. Next, we're going to do this larger hole that's deeper, goes all the way through. I'm going to need to put a little sub patch in there. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to use our deep flex fill, number 654, the beige filler. So I'm going to need to put a patch under this hole, and what I have is some really, really thin pigskin. I've cut a small little patch. I'm going to use the suede side against the suede side there. I'm going to put just a little teeny black mark in the middle with the pen or pencil so you can identify where it's at and locate it and make sure it's centered. So I'm going to insert this by lifting the leather, sliding the patch in, letting go of the patch, and then sliding it where I want to go. Right in the middle. Then I'm going to take some of my leather glue, number 695, and I'm going to glue all the edges. All the edges down, all the way around. I don't want to go to the edge of the patch. I just want to go under about a 1/4 inch of the cut lip. Don't go all the way to the edge of your patch. It could cause it to show later in the repair.
Yeah, we've done videos of you patching this.
Yeah, several times. You guys that want to see this aviation video probably never spent the time to look at that. Okay, now that that's dry, I'm going to check all around, and I'm going to agitate these edges a little bit with the tip of my pick to see if any of them will lift up. If they do, I want to get some more glue in, and I need a spot there and there. I need a little more glue, and I need a little bit more right there. There seems to be a little spot that's missing glue. Again, the reason why I do this now is it saves me more time on the back end of the repair trying to make these little void spots or these little humps or these little flawed areas look better. It's easiest to get them now. Okay, I got this flat, I got this dry. Next thing I'm going to use my 654 deep flex fill, and I'm going to put on a coat, and it's probably about 1/8 of an inch deep. So it's going to take a little time to dry, but it's going to be super strong and extremely flexible. So this last spot we're going to fix would be like a sharp razor cut, maybe the edge of a briefcase, or something sharp cuts the leather and it peaks it. Doesn't go all the way through the hide, goes maybe 1/3 or a halfway or almost all the way through, and it makes the leather peak. The older that and stretched out that leather gets, the worse that peak is. So I'll show you. Okay, for this I'm going to use our 694 leather adhesive, and okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread this open, and I'm going to work that glue in there really well. And I'm going to scrape off the excess. I need to work quickly. I'm going to take a pen or a round stick of some sort. I'm going to press down, and I'm going to put some tape straps over it. Okay? Okay, I have all my spots ready to be refinished. I cleaned them, I made the repairs. Now I'm going to prep the surface. And what I mean is I'm going to take these, we're going to use one of our two prep products, either our 630 green cleaner prep or our 632 surface prep. And that is to get this leather in a state so it will accept the colors that we put on, the paint that we put on, and it sticks and it flexes. So I'm gonna use our 632 surface prep for this job, and I'm going to spray some on the rag. I'm gonna lightly wipe it and dispense it over the area as I let it set wet for a few seconds. And then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna start rubbing. As I turn the rag to a dry spot, you'll start to see the color coming off on the rag. You'll see you've got color starting to come off, which means it's working. You're going to get a sticky feel, or what I call the drag on the rag. When you turn this rag over and you start wiping real hard, you're going to start to feel it grab, like it's tacky. That's good. That means that the solvent is working and etching into the surface. You want to let that dry, or you can use a hair dryer to make that stickiness go away. You don't want to leave those trapped solvents stuck into the hide when you seal it with coating. That will be an adhesion problem down the line. So you want to work and scrub till you feel the drag on the rag, and then you want to get that air out, and so there is no more drag on the rag. It'll feel like it originally did. The surface is very tacky now, okay? And you'll feel that. You can hear it. You need to dry this so that doesn't do it anymore. Once I dry it, I'll be coating it with some primer coat. Okay, this is dry, and you may need to give it a quick sand because the stickiness has attracted some fuzz. So you want to give that a quick sand down, make sure nothing's on there. I'm going to take some 603 primer coat. I'm going to sponge on a very, very light, thin layer everywhere that I'm going to refinish. You do not want to put this on heavy. You want it to not be tacky once it's dry. Put it on too heavy, it will stay tacky for a very long time. As you can see, I'm just wiping a layer on, and I'm just kind of wiping it back off. That's all I want to do. All set. I'm going to let that dry. While this is dry, I'm going to get my paint strained. I'm going to get my paint mixed back up, strained, cross-linked, and ready to coat.